I'm Rhys Wicks with 2NURFM Hunter News. Efforts are underway today to save up to 50 jobs which could go when Newcastle tugboat operator Smith Lamnalco quits the port. The Maritime Union is currently in talks with rivals Svitzer, who run a fleet of 8 vessels as it scrambles to salvage the 4-tug workforce. But Newcastle Branch Secretary Glenn Williams says it looks as though some losses will be inevitable.
It's around the competition in the port with Svitzer, where if Smith couldn't provide tugs for a job, then Svitzer would do the job for them, but they would charge them at a very high premium. I think that just become unsustainable to them. There was a possible oversupply of tugs in the port. We're having discussions with Svitzer to talk through those issues to see if there is any room for transfer of employment, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to be 50 people.
The future of Newcastle's CBD will be left in the hands of the community next month for a 6-week period of public consultation. Urban Growth in New South Wales unveiled the plans for community engagement to Newcastle Council last night and proposes to feature a number of events including a Future Leaders Summit, briefings with interest groups and a social media campaign. The consultation period will run from August 10th to September 18. Lake Macquarie homes, constructed in the past decade, have ranked inside the state's top 10 for most energy-efficient residential buildings. Out of 152 councils in New South Wales, Lake Macquarie came in at number 6 and the best placed outside of Sydney, with over 11,000 homes meeting state government standards for water and electricity efficiency. Council's Manager Sustainability Alice Howe says homeowners should keep in mind the long-term benefits of steep startup costs.
It's important to recognise that a little bit more costs up front in a dwelling can often lead to substantial savings over the life of that asset, and so those savings are passed on to homeowners over up to 50 years.
Police are patrolling sections of the southern Lake Macquarie rail line after a number of incidents involving children trespassing along the tracks. Youths are reported to be placing rocks and debris across the train tracks, causing delays and damage to carriages. The John Hunter Children's Hospital has made trips a little easier for families with the launch of its free app as a guide around the hospital. The currently available app will provide information on wards and outpatient areas, as well as advice on what to do if your child is in pain, along with admission and discharge. Co-chair of the Family Advisory Council, Liz Geddes, says the app will help all families.
It primarily provides advice from a parent's perspective. How do you get to the wards? What are the parking situations? Is there accommodation? And this is particularly useful for people coming outside the area that are not familiar with the John Hunter Children's Hospital.
Dozens of Port Stephens residents have come together to celebrate the benefits of solar power as part of the Stand Up for Solar campaign, which takes place this week. The gathering at Tilgerry Habitat at Tenilba showcased the costs and features of solar installations. Spokesperson Les Penny says attendees were treated to a vast amount of information.
One of the presentations was about the feed-in tariffs and what's happening with those. The main part of the talks were 3 case studies of myself and 2 other people who have solar, and letting them know, the attendees know what our experiences were.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
The Newcastle Knights have settled on a 17-man squad for Saturday's clash with the Rabbitohs. Adam Clydesdale's poised to return from his shoulder injury in an otherwise unchanged side. Hooker Tyler Randall ruled out due to concussion. The lineup leaves Matautia brothers Chanel and Sione on standby, Dane Gagai continuing cardiology tests after suffering an irregular heartbeat. Meanwhile, the doubt's yet to be lifted off Aku Uate as the winger prepares to undergo assessment on a knee injury. A-League powerhouses Labino Haliti and Matteo Polyak have officially signed on with the Jets for 2 years under new coach Scott Miller's plans to give the franchise a club-wide overhaul. The two have now finalised their departures from Western Sydney, insisting they'll be key to bringing a winning mentality into the embattled side. And Redhead's Daniel Collins is celebrating after claiming his first gold medal in Open International Company to lead Australia to victory in Japan's annual Sanyo Busan Life-Saving Cup. That's sport. I'm Belinda De Las Harris.
2NUFM news time is 12:10.